o'clock. I think we can start. And whoever wants to join us later, he can follow the conversation. I would kindly ask everyone who is not talking right now to switch off their microphones so that we can have a clear sound for the rest of the people. And whoever wants to ask somebody or has a problem, they can also chat. There is a chat option, and we can you can write everything there, and I will be reading them out loud. So, thank you once again for being here with us. This webinar is part of our project, a European project, which is under the Erasmus Plus program. And the name of the program is called of our project is called LearnersMot, how to trigger primary motivation for learning in low educated adults using ICT tools. This project is a two-year project, and it aims to empower people, trainers and teachers working with adult people with low educated and low skills and low educated adults. We would like to empower those educators with new knowledge and skills on how to work with this specific target group of learners. So my name is Hara Triteu. I'm from Eurosuccess Consulting, a company and training institution in Cyprus. We are based in Nicosia, and we are glad here. We are glad to be here in this webinar together with the other hosts of this project, which is Eden Sol, the coordinator of this project from Spain, UPI from Slovenia, University of Third Age, again from Slovenia, Eurocrea from Italy, and I think I'm not missing anyone else. So I would like to pass the floor to the rest of the organizers of this webinar just to say a quick hi and from where they come from, and also for our participants to introduce themselves. Whoever wants to, of course, we don't press anybody to present themselves. So yes, Anna, would you like to say hi?
Hi, welcome to the first webinar of this project. My name is Anna and I work in Edensol, Spain. We are based in Reus, Tarragona province in Spain. And okay, I'm very happy to to deliver the first webinar. I hope everything goes well, and welcome. So that's it.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Dushana, and here with me is also Ushka, my colleague. Hello. We are both from Slovenian Third Age University, which is a network of 52 Third Age universities in Slovenia. We are based in Ljubljana, and we are happy to be members of the LearnersMot project.
Daria? We can hear you.
Hi. My name is Daria. I come from Ljubljana Univerza Žalec in Slovenia. I don't know, I work with unemployed, so if you want to ask me anything, you can.
Great. So is anybody from the participants willing to share their names and their background? Like 1 minute to share our background, whoever wants to. If nobody wants, we can proceed with the lecture. It's okay, no worries. If somebody wants to share their names and organization or from their background, they can do it whenever they feel comfortable. So I would like to pass the floor to Dušana and Urška, who are now going to talk about the definitions and concepts of functional literacy and functional illiteracy, personal and collective situations leading to functional illiteracy, some theory background and sharing of their experiences.
Thank you, Hara. Well, hello again. Today we are going to talk about literacy, about functional literacy and also illiteracy and functional illiteracy. But we'll be also discussing what is most important characteristics of adults in situation of functional illiteracy, because we do hope and we do believe that functional illiteracy is not a state. It's a process, but it can be also a situation that can be, which is subject to remedy. It can be bettered, we hope, due to by means of education and so on. So let us ask ourselves one first and basic question: why literacy? Why this project is about literacy? We are concentrating on employed adults. So adults who contribute to the development of their enterprise, but not necessarily because they lack skills that are needed in today's world, which is global, as you know, where technology is advanced and other processes are going on. And all of us, we need more and more knowledge and more skills. And we also need education. I would say all of us. So skills, as OECD says, skills are for all people, and employers have to trust all workers that they are able to develop together with their company. If they don't trust all of them, if they don't think that the investment in low educated and low skilled workers is worse, then their company is in danger. Why? Because companies are becoming more and more service oriented, and we need, all of us, we need basic skills, of course, reading, writing, counting, if you want, numeracy skills, cognitive skills, cultural skills, and communicative skills. So it's a long process that starts in our families and practically never ends. And having these basic skills and also the new basic skills like communication skills, independent working and so on, are all important for the development of society and for the development of economy. And after all, or above all, for the development of the individual adults themselves. Now, literacy, what does it mean? In the English context, English-speaking context, it used to mean being familiar with literature and being well educated. Today, this is not exactly the case, and the word literacy, especially in the political context, is being misused. Literacy does not mean just mastering reading, writing, numeracy skills, and so on. As I said, it comprises today also new basic and key competencies for all. Because we want to manage our work on our own, we have to improve productivity, we have to contribute to better productivity, and we have to achieve also organizational targets. And therefore, we need knowledge, which is deeper, in depth. We need also communication and also problem-solving abilities. And above all, we have to be able to learn independently. This is very important. I would say, or at least our belief is that being functionally literate means that we have that basic level of abilities that allow us to learn from the environment and to go on learning and to go on solving problems on our own, not having to ask our boss what we are supposed to do. And it also means having a wider picture of whatever is going on around us. It also means developing critical thinking, having an opinion, and acting on the basis of such an opinion. Now, illiteracy, if we go back to illiteracy in the English language, means the opposite of literacy, the opposite of being educated and able to use these different competencies. But in 1970, the French Association Quart Monde introduced this neologism, functional illiteracy. Why? Because they wanted to make a clear distinction between those who didn't know to read and who didn't go to school, and those who went to school and completed elementary school or secondary school, vocational school, but were not able to integrate in society because due to the lack of knowledge and due to the lack of competencies. So one should remember that there is a clear difference between those who don't read because they were not in school and those who were in school. They were schooled, but for some reason they are not successful, or they have forgotten different knowledge and skills for some personal reasons. Now there are several definitions concerning literacy and illiteracy and functional literacy and functional illiteracy. They are very different and unstable and flexible. It depends on the context and on the times. In the industrial times, the definition was quite different from what we get today in the terms of new technologies and ICT skills and so on. But anyway, it means that we are not able to use written information for solving everyday problems in different areas, not only at work but also in private life, in education, in the field of health, and so on. Now I would like to draw your attention to the fact that we often hear media literacy or health literacy or emotional literacy. UNESCO excludes these different literacies from the basic definition of literacy because all these words apply to how able we are to use our skills in different areas. But functional illiteracy, it's a basic disability. It's like, somebody who doesn't have all his fingers. He cannot perform as those who have all the fingers. And so this is basically an impairment that has to be, that can be overcome, luckily, but it really does take time. So I would say that today functional literacy appears in every aspect of daily life. We need this ability when we open a bank account, for example, or use a cash machine. For example, if I'm not able to use it, for me, it doesn't mean that I'm a functional illiterate person, because I can learn. But a functionally illiterate person does not possess the basic abilities to start learning. And I have met a person like that in Germany. She was absolutely able to speak German, but she was not able to follow the instructions because she lacked cognitive skills. Now, if we move on, because we don't have a lot of time, to personal and collective situations leading to functional illiteracy. Quite often it happens that low educated or low educated or low skilled workers are functionally illiterate. We meet many functional illiterates among prisoners, among dyslexics, among people who have some emotional, who have been emotionally deprived, among people who come from big families, from migrant background. But you know, all these conditions they experience through life does not make them necessarily functional illiterates, but they can. Becoming a functional illiterate person depends on our whole family history, our background, the educational background and cultural background of our family. But anyway, functionally illiterate persons have deficient skills of reading, writing, understanding, communicating, abstract thinking, understanding the sequence, understanding the space and time, and they have problems orienting themselves. They may have all these or some of these characteristics. But what is really typical, they are at total discomfort concerning language. They have, because reading difficulties originate from oral language, and illiteracy is reflected in both oral and written language. Just some words to end this presentation. What is typical of people, of adults who are in a situation of functional illiteracy, they hide their situation from everybody. And they're a very dispersed group of people. What is typical, they ask the manager for many questions. They are very, very dependent, and they want to be sure that they understood the instructions. They ask colleagues for help, pretending that they have lost glasses. They don't like changes, but they are most of the times very nice people, and they are always ready to help. And I think I would stop here. Anyway, the PowerPoint is here, and you can use it as you can according to your availability. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them.
Thank you very much, Dusanna, for this very interesting situation and presentation. Would somebody like to ask Dusanna anything about the presentation or characteristics of illiterate people?
It's very difficult.
If somebody is not feeling comfortable in speaking, you can also write them in chat and I can read them for you. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions in regards to the presentation, please feel free also to send us an emails or for clarifications if you don't feel comfortable to discuss them here. There is also the LearnersMot website where you can submit your request in case you have any questions as well. So now I would like to pass the floor to Anna from Edensol. She's gonna present ideas on how to approach illiterate learners and the importance of collecting life stories.
Hello. Okay. I'm going to share my PowerPoint. Just a moment. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So one moment. Okay, so I want to begin the presentation with a self-reflection. So, do you know somebody that is functional illiterate or that is in the situation of functional illiteracy? Okay, as our colleague Luciana just said, maybe you know somebody, but you are not aware that this person is in a situation of functional illiteracy, because normally this person try to hide these problems, reading or writing, from their friends and even from their own families. But if you know somebody that is in this situation, what do you think is this person's attitude towards education? Do you think that this person is willing to learn, or maybe that person is happy that school belongs to the past and that that person has not the need to learn anymore? Okay, that's a self-reflection. Okay, so it is important to understand why education is so important for functional illiterate adults. Okay, apart from the obvious reason that is to get a job or to be promoted in the job they already have, it has a reason that is more powerful, which is it helps them to integrate in society. It has a transformative value, and it helps these people to gain in motivation and self-esteem. Okay, it is not only that they acquire the knowledge they need to do a specific job, it is also that they have like a better life. They have like more self-esteem. Okay. Normally, functional illiterate adults have a very good experience with education. Okay, so they are not willing to face this experience again. Okay, so they think that education belongs to the past and it is not for them. So what do they need? What is the most important thing these people need is motivation. Okay, but then how to motivate them? This is the most important thing. So how to motivate functional illiterate adults? Okay, so one of the could be to bring a person that has been in the same situation and then to explain his or her experience. To make them think that this is a unique opportunity. This is not that they lack something, that they need to learn something. It is that they feel that this is an honor for them to be chosen for the training, or maybe to tell them that so they will be able to help their children while learning, while doing the homework, or even reading stories or books to them. Okay. One moment. Okay. So I have a problem with the mouse. I don't know. Okay. So I will talk. Okay. Okay. So that's it. So, what is the educator's attitude to, when approaching functional illiterate adults? Okay, so to approach functional illiterate adults, you have to do it individually. Okay, you have to talk to them, to listen to them. To listen to them talk about their experiences, their difficulties, their disappointments, and hopes. Okay, it is not like the normal way that you can approach other adults that want to learn something. You have to make them feel considered and respected, and so explain them why education could improve their lives, so that they are aware of this fact. Okay. So now I want to focus on a case study, which is an experience that took place in Slovenia. Okay, and I want to focus on this story because it was a very successful case. That took place in a small village in Slovenia. It involved the whole community, and our colleague Luciana, who just presented, was involved in this. I don't know how to call it in this case or in this activity. Okay, so. How did the educators or researchers try to approach the law literates in this town in Slovenia? So they did what they were supposed to do. They used newspaper, local media, radio, TV. They did some posters and put it all over the town. They involved the mayor and other visible personalities. They went to the normal places, which is the library, the church, the museum, even to the pub. But okay, so do you think that this kind of dissemination was effective to animate them to get involved in education? Or do you think that something could have been made different? You can use the chat if you want to write your opinions. What do you think? Okay.
Well, I guess posters wouldn't have worked so much for them, but maybe pictures or radio podcasts might have helped them to understand how they can be involved.
Okay, so you are right. Okay, because most of these efforts, not all, but maybe most of these efforts were useless because they didn't get a lot of law-educated adults involved in the different activities. So when they realized this, they changed the strategy. Okay, and what they did now was to go to their homes, to talk to them, to listen to them. So to try to convince them to gain their trust, and then try to convince them that education could be important or could change their lives. Okay, so it was of course it was like a mentorship with different phases, but in the end they could achieve that some of the people that were low literates or functionally illiterate people enrolled in education and could achieve a professional insertion. Okay, so this was a very successful story, and I think it's worth sharing it with all of you. So then I have finished. Okay, now conclusion. Conclusion. So it is only summary. So the two main ideas are that education is very important to improve not only the jobs but also the lives of functional illiterate adults or adults in a situation of functional illiteracy. And the second one is that the way of approaching low literates is not the same as approaching other adults. Okay, so this educators should take this into consideration, okay, when approaching them. And now this is the end of the presentation. Okay, so.
Thank you very much, Anna. Would somebody like to ask Anna something about her presentation, or to share their experiences or examples with low literate people, low skilled people?
I could share. I could share my experience, if I may, when I started working with train conductors who finished their secondary school, so they were somehow qualified, but in fact they were functionally illiterate. I found out that I would have to change my strategies completely. I found out that let me give you an example that was linguistic education, and I found out that the verb paradigm was not present in their mind, like I am, you are, he is, she is, and so on, you know, and other paradigms which we use a lot. So I had to be very innovative, finding completely new strategies and forgetting about what I usually do. And there was a very important topic to learn how to learn, because most of the times they have bad schooling memories and they are not well equipped. For example, to the first session, they came without a sheet of paper or without a pen, and they had no feeling for the time that is needed for learning. For example, this was the day of a football game, and they were so eager to watch that football game, and they said, will you let us watch this game, and then if you want we can learn for 8 or 10 hours. We are really willing to do it. So the situation is completely different, and it's very rewarding for the adult educator, because if you work with those who are functionally illiterate, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about life, about people, about our different ways of learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dushana, for this experience.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to share their experiences or questions in regards to this topic? So, if nobody has something to comment, I would like to thank once again the speakers for their interesting presentations, and for sharing their knowledge on the topic. Of course, we tried to give you an idea on the topic and not the whole overview, because then we will have to discuss about them for hours. It took us almost 2 years to complete the different methodologies and resources for educators, and we are still in the process of developing them. So if you would like to learn more about our project, you can find more information on our website, on the project website. I'm sharing it now, the website, on the chat group. If you click there, you can see that there are several resources updated and developed so far, but we are still in the second year of the project and we are still developing things. You can see the pack for educators, where you can see a resource library with all the different, with a collection, let's say, of good practices and interesting resources related to adult education with vulnerable groups and low educated people from the different countries of the partnership and from European reports. You can also find the handbook for adult educators with motivational strategies and how to deal with low educated and qualified people. The handbook is available already in English, but we are also in the process of translating them. You can find the different language versions on the website, and they are available as a PDF where you can download it, but also as an interactive manual where you can click in the different resources on the website. And now currently we are at the stage of preparing the course for educators, where trainers can take advantage of it and teach different topics on the adults. What I would like to close this session with the other two dates for the webinars. Our second webinar is going to be on Thursday, this Thursday, 20th of June. It's going to be in the morning, 11 a.m. Central European Time. The link for the webinar is available also on Eurosuccess Consulting webpage. I can share with you the different links where you can find the invitations here in the chat box. And the third one, I've just shared the second one. And the third one is on the 28th of June, is next Friday at 12 midday Central European Time. I forgot to say that the second webinar is about storytelling and animation techniques and how to organize the learning environment to support the needs of the learners. And the third webinar, which is on the 28th, it's about discovering the different learning styles and how to use ICT tools in adult education. So I'm sharing also the link for the third webinar where you can join us. We will be very happy. We will have to have you here with us again. And we will have, again, experienced trainers and educators talking about the topic. So once again, I would like to thank the speakers and all of you for being present here.
Okay, so bye. Thank you for your webinar.
And waiting for you for the next ones.
Thank you, Hara.
Thank you.
Thank you for moderating the webinar. And bye-bye, Cyprus.
Bye-bye to everyone.
Bye.
Have a nice afternoon. Bye.
Same to you.